stream should be up in a moment's time. Hello everybody and welcome along to the feature race for the Aus-NZ Combined Supercars Championship here in Long Beach. We've only just finished the sprint race in which Uncrewed Squid took his 4th victory of the season. And, well, a lot of fast cars made some mistakes, and they'll be looking to not make those same mistakes in the sprint race, in the feature race. And, well, we're just starting a 5-minute qualifying session here, so if you want to get your laps in, you gotta do it quick. And I'm once again joined by me, Wadey, who's doing the camera angles and also commentating along with me here.
Hello everyone.
Yeah, welcome back to the feature race. It's a 45-minute race, 45-lap race. So if you thought the 21 laps in the sprint race was long, you're in for something else. Now everyone's pretty much out going, well, they're going out for the out laps at the moment. Luckily this is a dry qualifying session, so I think a few people will be glad about that. Now it looks like Shads will probably be the first to start his flying lap into the
Go on board for a lap.
corner. Now Shads is sort of turning into the number 2 driver at the Cavini's racing team. Uncrewed, well, I think he's sort of turning into the number 2 driver of the series, because Uncrewed Squid is just on an absolutely different level and has won most of the races so far, and probably didn't win an Algarve. It didn't win the feature race in Algarve because when Shad's into the wall, probably because of a couple of mistakes that happened. So Sato was able to win that race. Speaking of Sato, he and a few other drivers had a pretty poor race during the sprint race. I mean, Colonel Lloyd, probably one of the fastest guys in the field, spun at the line. At the start-finish line, he dumped the throttle and went around at the start of the race, so that was a pretty chaotic start. Now, I'm sure he won't want to repeat the same thing. Anyway, Shads, he's going to be the first to complete his flying lap as he goes down the Seaside Avenue into Firestone. And it's looking like a pretty good one. I think his car might still be... We're still waiting for Shad's car to get up to temperature. But whatever the case, it's still looking fairly strong. Out of the final corner, let's see what this time is good for. And across the line, obviously goes fastest with a moment at 15.8, which is not a bad time at all. Let's see who can beat it. Now, a few guys navigating the final sector of the track, and Uncrewed Squid goes fastest with a 1 minute 15.3, which is 4/10 quicker than his teammate Shads, with Highlander coming home for a 1 minute 16.4, and Sato with a 1 minute 16.8. Now, I think most of these guys only have 2 laps in the qualifying session, because there's only 1 minute 40 seconds left. So you might only get 2 or 3 laps in the session. Now, if you are watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description below. That is for your Aus-NZ driver of the day. Now, if you think that somebody like Uncrewed Squid or Highlander or even Toddy has done very well today, you can vote on the poll, and the winner of the driver of the day will be announced at the next race. So, Wadey, with pit stops now taken into account, obviously there will be pit stops during the feature race. Who do you think could win the feature race other than Uncrewed Squid? Because that's kind of a given.
Well, we could see maybe Sato coming back after having a bad race in the sprint race. Maybe even Highlander or Shads could have a chance as well.
That's probably a good call, actually. I've just heard my phone and I don't know where it is. That might have been important. I don't know. Anyway, Uncrewed Squid, first man to break the 1 minute 14s in the qualifying session so far. And he's 6/10 faster than Sato, who goes up to 2nd place. Shad's all the way down in 5th, so he'll be looking to improve on that. I don't think he'll be quite satisfied with that. Now, if we could have a look on board with Shads, he looks like he's... Ooh, yeah, there's another excursion into the wall, but he's still a 10th up on his fastest lap. And that 10th up, well, he's only got this one chance to go faster, otherwise he'll be starting from 5th. Sato's done well to get himself onto the front row into 2nd place, with Speed Racer in 3rd. Shad's into the final corner. Can he go better than 5th?
Boyd and Darky not doing a lap.
Boyd and Darky unable to do a lap, which is unfortunate for them. Shad's across the line. 1 minute 1 minute 15.5 for Shads, which has put him into 3rd place. Toddy in 7th place. Speed Racer coming round to finish the lap. Will Sato go quicker? It doesn't look like Sato will go quicker. Speed Racer running the final corner. Can he go any quicker? RSJ sets a lap for 7th place. Toddy bumped down to 8th. Speed Racer, he will finish 4th in the session. Can Toddy improve on his time to get himself back up into 7th place? Can he do better than 1:18? It doesn't look like he can, which is unfortunate. So, Uncrewed Squid, he's taking pole position once again, followed by Sato, Shads, Speed Racer, Highlander, Lockie, RSJ, Toddy, and Colonel Lloyd and Dark Racing were unable to set a lap during the session. So now, only moments away from the start of this 45-minute session. Wadey, who do you think is going to win it?
I reckon it's gonna be Uncrewed Squid once again taking the win, unless we see him making a mistake and possibly even hitting the barrier, but that seems unlikely. But if it does happen, I reckon Sato, Shad, or Highlander, or Speed Racer, any one of them could take advantage.
Yeah, exactly. I reckon probably Uncrewed Squid's going to win again, but you never know. You have to take in the fact, you have to take pit strategy into account round here as well. Now, hold on, you might hear some background noise in a second because this has given me an opportunity to test the, to make sure your audio is working. I'm assuming it is working actually. Hopefully it is.
Could be.
I apologise if Wadey's audio is not working. I don't know. You can always check on the stream.
Yeah.
Anyway, right. Only a couple of moments away from the start of this race. And we don't know how much time there is before the timer runs out and how many people have readied up. And you might be able to hear that background noise whilst I test it. Oh, anyway, whatever the case. Alright, can we go trackside? Yes, we can. Well, we're just syncing up. The lights are coming on. Let's do it for a second time tonight here at Long Beach. Let's go racing and let's see who gets a good start. It looks like Uncrewed Squid's gotten a pretty good start. It looks like even Highlander's gotten a good start as well. He's trying to get by Jazz behind him as well. Sato's right on him, and it looks like Sato might try and go around the outside of Uncrewed Squid into turn 1. Now, who's going to make it through? The two Mondoline cars look like they're trying to make some moves. Now, Sato, he's under pressure from Speed Racers. Oh, there's some calamities behind him. It looks like Highlander tried to follow Sato through and made some contact with Speed Racer, and as a result, Speed Racer's dropped a little bit behind some of these leading cars. Anyway, further down the field, it looks like Shad's in 5th place under pressure from Lockie. Will Lockie make a move? Will Lockie try and make some moves at the start of this race? This is a perfect opportunity to do so. Meanwhile, it looks like RSJ is under pressure from Darky. Will Darky be able to get by RSJ? I can't quite see. It looks like RSJ will hold onto it for the time being. Meanwhile, Uncrewed Squid, another perfect start. He's already pulled out a 6/10 gap, or about half a second gap to Sato at the start of the race. Meanwhile, lots of guys battling behind. Darky round the outside of RSJ in the last sector of the track. Now, let's see what the running order is so far. It's Uncrewed Squid leading the way, followed by Sato, and Speed Racers maintained his spot in 4th place, followed by Highlander, and Shads in 5th place behind Highlander. Now, Shads will not be satisfied with 5th place, so he'll definitely be trying to make some moves in the next few minutes. to try and get to his teammate. Oh, and Lockie in the wall. Lockie very hard in the wall.
Oh, and RSJ.
Oh dear, it looks like there's... Lockie caused a bit of a traffic jam. RSJ and Toddy side by side through the fountain section. RSJ has to check up. Lockie's car very heavily damaged. Now RSJ under pressure from Colonel Lloyd in 9th place.
Damage for Darky as well, that looks like.
Damage for Darky in 6th place. And it looks like RSJ is now under pressure from Colonel Lloyd.
5 seconds back from even Chad.
Oh, and Darky very
all
sideways.
Bottom 5 cars. All the bottom 5 cars seem to have been caught up in the incident.
Meanwhile, it's pretty close up the front between Highlander and Shads at the moment. And Shads actually having a look on Highlander. He looked to the outside, but it didn't look like there was any room. And he's right on the back bumper of Highlander at the moment. Powering out of the final corner. Will he try and make a move in the first corner? Shads almost invisible in the slipstream of Highlander. At the end of lap 3 of 45. Shads chasing after Highlander. Will he try an ambitious one into turn 1? No, he won't. Shads just sitting behind Highlander in 5th place. Now expect Shads to try and go for moves because he certainly will not be happy with 5th place. Shads, he's sitting just behind Highlander at the moment. Will he try and make some moves? What's his run going to be like out of this corner? It seems to be pretty good. He's still sticking behind Highlander. It's one of the fastest drivers in the field versus the immovable object that is Highlander. But Highlander was looking a little bit off. Going into that corner now onto the Seaside Avenue. Shads still chasing after Highlander. Now will he try and make a move into Firestone? Shads 1/10 quicker than his car. He's looking at Highlander. He's not making any moves just yet. Highlander with a bit of a lock-up. Will that cost him? Shads will probably try and... Oh, and Highlander understeers very, very... Well, he understeers a lot in the last sector of the track. And that's all giving time for Shads to catch up. Meanwhile, Lockie's come on the pit road, presumably with some car injuries. And I assume you wouldn't be making a strategy stop this early on. Lockie cycles out in 10th place, almost a lap down behind the leaders. And it looks like Highlander... Oh, and Highlander! And Shads gives Highlander the bump into turn 1 and puts him into the wall. That's a bit of a dodgy move, and I think there will be some questions asked about that.
Definitely after the race.
That's very, very costly for Highlander, and I don't think... I mean, that's a bump and run, and I think there may be penalties for Shads if that's talked about after the race. I mean, this might actually mean that Highlander has to make an early pit stop. Meanwhile, down in the field, Toddy is chasing after RSJ with Colonel Lloyd in pursuit. Now, will Colonel Lloyd be able to catch up to the back of Toddy? But he's a little bit further back, but Toddy is certainly catching up to the Sport Drecker car of RSJ. Toddy doing very well in this number 9 seat so far. He's 2 seconds up on his fastest lap. Let's see if he'll gain any time into Firestone. Still sitting just at bay. And this will definitely be something to look out for in the near future. And this is probably the closest battle that's occurring on track at the moment. Toddy 2 seconds up on his fastest lap. 1 minute 18. He's quicker than RSJ is at the moment. His last lap was... Oh, and Colonel Lloyd loops in turn 1. Long Beach is getting the better of some of the best drivers in the league at the moment. Colonel Lloyd, fresh off winning the Freedom 100
Something's happened to
back.
Uncrewed Squid. He's down to 3rd.
Oh, something has happened to Uncrewed Squid. He's dropped to 3rd, and Sato is the new leader of the race. Meanwhile, he looks like he might be under pressure from Shad, so it doesn't look like there's too much damage
Oh, what's
to
happened to
Uncrewed
Highlander
Squid's
as
car.
well? One of the last
No, remember,
out.
Highlander was pushed into the wall by Shad. Yeah. So,
Oh, sorry.
now if we can have a look at Uncrewed Squid's car, does there appear to be any damage to that car? Because that means he might have had a trip into the
Not
wall.
on the front of it. Doesn't look like on the front, so it must have been side
Yeah,
contact.
so he hasn't
with the
plowed
wall,
into the wall.
possibly causing.
Or maybe
a
he
stint.
just, maybe he just spun out without hitting the wall. But remember, this is the exact thing that you spoke of, Wadey, that Uncrewed Squid, he'd win the race so long as he didn't make any mistakes, and that is exactly what has happened. That is actually the commentator's curse there, and not quite the direct disruption.
And
I guess in your case.
I predicted this in the first race, and kind of this second race as well, but Sato in the lead.
Sato is now the new leader of the race. Speed Racer in second, just over a second behind. Definitely in a position to challenge, but don't forget, there's certainly pit stops to take into account. Meanwhile, Uncrewed Squid, he'll be kicking himself, and he'll be looking to catch up to Speed Racer, but not without Shads possibly getting involved with this battle as well. Meanwhile, on board, well, not on board with Toddy, but just looking at Toddy, and he's catching up to the back of RSJ. So there's battles happening all throughout the field at the moment. Definitely something to look out for. So Toddy, he's gone quicker again. He's 400ths of a second up on his lap so far. Now, can he gain on RSJ in the last sector? Who's looking quicker? Toddy, he's looking always.
Toddy is gaining.
Toddy's looking racy.
Definitely gaining lap by lap.
Now, Toddy will probably use the slipstream to try and get by RSJ in front of him. This is the battle for 7th and 8th. Toddy once again quicker, a 10th up on his fastest lap so far. So he's doing very, very well with a 1:18.6. He's definitely quicker than RSJ at the moment. Meanwhile, battles up front. Shads has caught up to the back of his teammate, Uncrewed Squid. And Speed Racer, he's acting as a roadblock for the Evil Knievel's, which is giving Sato a time to escape. Shads just sitting behind Uncrewed Squid at the moment. These two won't want to take each other out. They still are teammates, and they still do care about the team's championship. It looks like Uncrewed Squid is caught right up to the back of Speed Racer. Oh, and Shads is right in it as well. He almost rear-ended Uncrewed Squid. He's that close. Meanwhile,
Highlander.
Toddy's right on. Highlander's
really
going very slow. Yeah, so this battle is now to 6th and 7th now because of Highlander having an accident. Highlander did so well in race 1, and now he's not performing in race 2 at all. But Uncrewed Squid, he is right on the back of Speed Racer at the moment. He's not giving him an inch, and we might even see a pass here in the next couple of laps. This is enthralling stuff. This is the battle for second place. And meanwhile, Sato is pulling away, but then still, we're only on lap 8, and there's still pit stops to factor in as well. So this is definitely going to be a very interesting race. This should be a good one. So
Darky just by himself right now.
Darky, yeah, it's not been the greatest.
10 seconds off the guys ahead, and like 6 seconds ahead of RSJ.
He's done well to get into 5th place. He's done well to get to 5th place. Darky, I asked him at the start of the season, where do you think you're going to be for most of the season? He said he'd be in the midfield. Meanwhile, Highlander comes into pit road, and Lockie's car is looking very damaged as well. Unfortunately, he's all the way down in 10th place, and Lockie's already made a stop. So the front runners still yet to make a stop. They're going at it, and we'll probably see some stops about midway through the race, so we won't be seeing anything yet. So we'll just and Uncrewed Squid brushes the wall. There'll be some scratches on the side of that car, and it's slightly dislodged the bonnet of that car.
Toddy. I think he got past into the hairpin.
Toddy's cleared RSJ.
I think they were close up the hairpin.
Fantastic. Toddy managing to clear RSJ, getting himself up into 6th place. This is a fantastic weekend for Toddy, and I think I might have just jinxed it now, but go Toddy.
Let's hope not.
This is a good drive. Yeah, let's hope not. This is a fantastic drive from Toddy. He's done very, very well, and hopefully he can continue this momentum. Meanwhile, battle up front. Uncrewed Squid is not giving Speed Racer an inch into the final sector. He's less than a second back at this point. Oh, he's very close into the hairpin. How's his exit going to be? Meanwhile, Speed Racer just sitting 2 seconds behind Sato at the moment. Sato just starting lap 10. And now all these guys are starting lap 10 as well. Meanwhile, Shads is dropping slightly off the back of Uncrewed Squid, which is a little bit strange, but whatever. Speed Racer and Uncrewed Squid off in turn 1. And Speed Racer's Shads got into the side of Speed Racer. So problems for all 3 of these cars. Shad's up in a second place, but with a lot of damage.
Uncrewed Squids go away without any damage. Uncrewed
Squid only overshot. Uncrewed Squid overshot turn 1, but didn't go into the wall. Speed Racer went into the wall on a separate incident, and then Shads went into the side of Speed Racer. And now,
I think this is given an opportunity.
This is going to give Darky the opportunity. Because Speed Racer's car, it's all bent out of shape. That'll be suspension and steering damage for sure. Darky goes up into 4th place, and Shads' car is looking very second-hand as well. So Shads is second place, and now these guys...
Sato,
he's got an 8-second advantage.
Yeah, but
this
Shad's
is absolutely perfect.
This looks like Shad's going to have to pit, otherwise he's going to lose a whole load of time, especially to Squid.
So, 3 of the 4 fastest drivers in the field have all just had 3 separate mistakes.
And it's all because I said it at the start of a race. All because I said something about it at the start of a race.
This is exactly the thing that you spoke of. My goodness me. And meanwhile, the battle's still on for 6th and 7th, which might even become the battle for 5th, because Speed Racer's on the lane on lap 10. And that is a very early stop, which means that Toddy, the rookie, is up into 5th place, which is absolutely superb. This is a brilliant drive for Toddy on his first night in Supercars racing.
Let's see how easy Shads is going to make it for Squid to get past, or if he's going to try and battle.
Meanwhile,
even with the damage.
It looks like
Squid's around!
Squid's around, and just as we say that, yeah, so Speed Racer and Colonel Lloyd are both on pit road. Uncrewed Squid is around
right now.
This curse is in full effect, and meanwhile this is giving an opportunity for Darky to catch up to Uncrewed Squid. Uncrewed Squid.
Wait, what's happened to Sato? He's only a second ahead of Shad.
Sato's had a mistake. Oh my goodness me, what is going on at the moment? There's a lot of damage to the side of the Mondelin car, so it looks like all 4 of the front running cars have made a mistake of some kind, and now it's costing them.
Yeah, you lost
Speed Racer's still on.
Best that lap.
Speed Racer and Colonel Lloyd are both still in the pits right now, and they will most certainly go a lap down. It was such a shame for Speed Racer. He was looking like he was going to get a podium, but now that's gone by the wayside. And Toddy put Speed Racer another lap down, which is absolutely horrendous for him, for Speed Racer, I mean.
It doesn't actually look like Shads has too much damage. He's not really losing too much to Sato.
His car is looking pretty second-hand. Meanwhile, Speed Racer's come out of the pit lane in 8th place with Highlander in 9th. My goodness, who would have thought?
Oh, I think Speed Racer just went off at turn 1.
Yeah, his car's looking second-hand again. Mind you, his car's looking generally second-hand anyway, because
look at Lockie's car as well.
And all this, Lockie was in 10th place before all this happened, and now he's in 7th. So
Lloyd's still in the pit lane.
This is probably the craziest race of the season, bar Algarve.
And it's only the first 11 laps as well. We've still got
lap 11 of 45 exactly. So, with all things considered then, because some of these guys have made early pit stops, if they can keep it out of the wall, and the front runners need to come in and repair damage, they might even be back in the race.
Exactly.
This is laughable how... It's laughably entertaining, this is incredible.
Darky, Toddy, and RSJ, depending on how much damage Squid, Shads, and even Sato have, if they've got a lot of damage, then you don't know.
Now,
12 seconds.
Now the timings
Sato.
are a little bit. Timings are a little bit stuffed up at the moment.
12
I have
seconds
no idea where anyone
Sato
is.
Darky. 18 seconds is Toddy behind Sato.
Ooh, so if Darky
Shads
makes a mistake...
Yeah. If Shads has the damage that takes over 9 seconds to fix, that's going to be Darky up into a top 3 position.
And we could even see Toddy, if Darky makes a mistake, up into 4th place, which would be an absolutely spectacular rookie run if that happens. So here's Toddy, here's the man in 5th place. He's had a pretty strong night tonight, so if he can keep it together, he'll be on for a good result. So that number 9 car, you're almost... Oh, and RSJ in the wall.
That's RSJ in the background.
No, it's not looking good. That won't be particularly good for him. Now... Oh, and Shads! Oh, Uncrewed Squid's gone through on Shads. Uncrewed Squid's gone through on Shads. I don't know how.
Oh, Shads pit.
We should probably have a look at that.
Shads pit.
Has he really? Okay, yeah. So Shads is making his scheduled stop, so that means Uncrewed Squid temporarily goes up into 2nd place.
That's Highlander with fast up, I believe. Oh, never mind. Squid just went in by 8/10. Never mind.
Oh my goodness me, this is an absolutely insane race. So here we go. Shad's on the pit lane. He's taking fuel, and there's a little bit of damage to fix, but let's see how much damage he has.
Yeah, he's a long way ahead of Lockie as well.
Yeah, and if Lockie comes, well, Lockie's already made a pit stop, so if he could try and go to the end of the race, but he won't. But anyway, that's a pretty lengthy pit stop for Shads, and means he will rejoin the track in 6th position. Pretty significant distance behind anyone else at the moment. Toddy's up into 4th place, but he still owes us a pit stop, as is RSJ. And Sado's on the road. Sado's coming into pit lane, which means Uncrewed Squid is once again the leader. However, Uncrewed Squid still owes us a pit stop. So here we go. Well, this is a really long pit lane, so you don't really want to be visiting this pit lane more times than necessary. So Sado in on lap 15. He's just gone down to 4th place. Let's see if this stop is quick. And that's damage for Sado, but how much damage is it?
Where's Shads? He's got... Shads. Yeah, he's still out far ahead of Shads.
He's out far ahead of Shads.
Toddy currently in P3.
Toddy currently in P3, but he still owes us a pit stop, as does Darky.
And RSJ and Squid.
And RSJ, all of these guys, well, all of the top 3 still owes a pit stop, which means that Sado will be effectively the leader of the race, depending on how fast all these stops are.
But it didn't look like Squid got too much damage, so he might not even have to do any damage.
No, he won't. Let's see if he comes on this time by. Will he dive into the pit lane? No, he stays out for another lap.
How about Darky?
Oh, and he's just going to lap Lockie, and no, he will not pit this time by. Now, will Toddy give us a pit stop?
Doesn't look like it. Nope.
Will RSJ take the pit stop?
Nope.
Okay, maybe some of these guys, they're leaving it till later in the race. There's only lap 15 of 45, so I'd probably expect more pit stops around lap 20, or... But I'd say the pit window is probably about lap 21 to 23, or perhaps later. That's just a prediction, because that's halfway. I don't know if they want to just use get the same compound to last half the race distance. But then again, I'm not sure if the fuel situation either.
If we look here, 2 guys that were running up the front, Highlander and Speed Racer, are actually only around a second or 2 from each other on track.
Yeah, so this could be rather interesting, and it looks like Highlander's just coming by, I believe that's RSJ, but RSJ is much further ahead of Highlander. Well, he's a couple laps ahead, and Highlander, he'll just go for the track position, probably... Highlander's looking a bit quicker actually than RSJ is, but he's a few laps down, so yeah, RSJ always has a look on... Well, Highlander has a look on RSJ. This is for track position, not actual position. He's around the outside in the final sector.
And Speed Racer
trying
is through as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's no point in RSJ holding up these guys. So he's just going to let this battle for 8th and 9th play out. I mean, it's good that we're having battles, but I'm sure that's not really where Speed Racer and Highlander wanted to be. I mean, they're both two of the quickest cars in the field at the moment, and they're down 8th and 9th. Oh, and RSJ in the wall. RSJ in the wall. RSJ's running 4th, so this might actually be pretty crucial for the race.
That looks like
because this will be a lengthy stop. Yeah. Anyway, right. Highlander and Speed Racer. They're still pretty close. Is Speed Racer in a position to make a move on Highlander? Not quite yet.
Cockpit's not going to be good with that crack screen.
Oh, good. I've driven with a crack screen like that back in the days of Aussie sim racing. In the Supercars League, I was flipped at the round at Bruno, and I had to drive the rest of the race with a cracked windscreen. And that's what Speed Racer and the like will be dealing with right now. As Speed Racer goes to the inside of Highlander, and he's made it work. But can Highlander hold it in on the inside? No, Speed Racer. And Highlander down the inside of the hairpin. He makes it through, but it was a bump and run move, and I think there will be some guys having a stern talking to after this race for some of the incidents that have happened in this race. Meanwhile, Speed Racer right with Highlander. He's going to go for it in turn 1. And Speed Racer on the inside of turn 1. Will Highlander give him the room? Yes, he does. Speed Racer gives him a bit of a hip check. Highlander in the wall, but Speed Racer through once again. This is the battle. Bear in mind, this is the battle for 8th and 9th. And it's absolutely superb at the moment. I'm very much enjoying this. So, can Highlander retort that move from Speed Racer, or will Speed Racer pull away? He's still sitting with him right now. And it doesn't look like... It looks like Speed Racer might just start to pull away now. But that was a good little battle we just saw there. That was pretty decent. Whoa, and Highlander very close to the wall, but not in it.
The word battle being used literally with each other. Yes, well,
I mean, they've had bump and run moves so far, and I'm not entirely sure of how legal that is. However, I'm a fan of bump and run rate, a little bit of bumping, but maybe not to some of the extent that we've seen tonight. So there might be a few penalties issued. I'm not sure.
It actually looks like Lockie's only half a straight down the road as well. So they might.
Yeah, Lockie is in 7th place. Toddy, this is an absolutely... Oh, and RSJ on the lane. So he's in from 4th place.
Yep, Saddo's
Sado.
fast.
Sado. Yep, Sado back up to 4th place.
That definitely...
Now,
I think that might be Shad's past as well.
Shad's is just about to come past RSJ, depending on how fast... Yeah, RSJ just hitting his marks now. So yeah, that'll definitely be Shad's by. Yep, there he goes. Shad's up to 5th place. Meanwhile,
they even look like too much damage as well. Had to be fixed.
RSJ out. It's been a pretty strong drive from RSJ tonight to get himself under 4th place. Meanwhile, Toddy, he still owes us a pit stop, but I don't think he'll quite... If he pits now, I don't think he'll quite get out ahead of Sado. So I think he just needs to stay. He needs to hang in there.
I think he's gonna be behind Shads as well, but maybe if he can hang behind Shads for long enough and Shads makes another mistake.
I don't... Yeah, well, okay, in order to keep 3rd or 4th, he's relying on people making mistakes. So I think he'll probably cycle out in about 5th place, but that's still a really, really strong debut performance. I'd certainly be happy with that if I were Toddy.
And he's not too far off Darky as well, so...
Is he? Yes, he is. He's 2 seconds behind Darky. That's... Wow, he's catching up to him.
I thought Darky was only like 10 seconds behind Squid, so he might have made a mistake.
I can't remember whether Darky's pit or not.
He hasn't. Top 3 haven't pit.
He hasn't pit yet. So top 3 haven't pit.
Because Sado was effectively first. After.
Yeah. Now uncrewed Squid, he's pulled out.
He's too close. Yeah, Lockie and Speed Racer.
Lockie and Speed Racer. This was not a battle I was expecting to see tonight, but it's a battle that's happening.
Here we go.
You really never know what Supercars Racing is going to throw at you. Will Speed Racer try the inside of the hairpin? He tried for it, but there wasn't enough room to get by. Now, will he try in turn 1? Speed Racer almost invisible in the slipstream of Lockie in front of him. This is the battle for 7th and 8th. Speed Racer pulling to the outside down the straight, and he'll go down the inside in turn 1. Lockie gives him the room, but will Speed Racer make the corner? No, he won't! He's in the wall again! Speed Racer gets overtaken by Highlander now. And Highlander gets through on Lockie. My goodness, this was an absolutely abhorrent night for Speed Racer tonight. And he'll probably have to make another trip to pit lane. Which means that, well, maybe even Colonel Lloyd might be able to get back into this as well. So Speed, yeah, that car's damaged. That car's very, very damaged. It's weaving all down the straight. Oh my goodness. Colonel Lloyd, yep, he's...
Oh! Squid in the pit.
Squid's the first to blink. He's the first of the top 3 right now to blink. He's on the pit. He's on pit lane. Will Darky follow him through, or will he go another lap? Now, there's no way they'll make the overcut work because there simply isn't time to do so. However, they're going another lap. Uncrewed Squid still hasn't hit his marks yet, and we don't know what kind of damage he has. So this will make the race very interesting. Darky and Toddy up into 2nd place, but they still owe us a pit stop. Now, here's the $1 million question. Will Uncrewed Squid cycle out ahead of Sado? Or will he cycle out behind?
He's behind.
And there goes Sado, he goes through. He's going to come out behind Sado. Now, maybe
damage.
Can Shads get by? Yeah, there's damage to that car, and he'll be hanging around for a while. Shad's about to go up.
That looks like Shads is past as well.
Oh, yeah, and just as Uncrewed Squid comes out, the 2 Evil Knievels, Shad's up into 4th place. Then again, top 2 still owe us a pit stop.
But
they've got
I don't think either of them have much damage. Or Darky but I don't think
Darky does,
has much.
But Toddy's... There doesn't appear to be a single scratch on the side of Toddy's car. So...
Oh, on the left, there is a few dust marks from the wall, I believe.
Yeah, perhaps. But, there is the, I reckon there is the possibility that Toddy could cycle out ahead of Sado. Oh, no, sorry, not ahead of Sado, ahead of Shads.
And even if not Shads, maybe even Squid.
I reckon he'll get out ahead of Squid, because his pit stop will be short, and he's got a pretty big lead to some of these guys. But it's on. We don't know who's going to win this at the moment. Or who's even going to finish at this point.
What's it? Just Speed Racer not far behind Lockie.
I thought oh no, so Speed Racer's obviously caught back up to Lockie after making contact with a wall in turn 1.
Surprised he doesn't have more damage.
Speed Racer's car looking pretty second hand. And it looks like Speed Racer might even... No, that's not for position. It looks like Speed Racer... Oh, Speed Racer's looped it!
Once again, we just go on board with the car and they just go round.
Yeah. I was just doing an audio test there, just in case you heard some background noise. But anyway, yep. Uncrewed Squid, the man in 5th place, has won 4 of 5 races. Oh, and Toddy makes the... So this is the $1 million question. This is for... Will he get out ahead of Shads or Uncrewed Squid? Now, if Toddy can get out ahead... So Toddy's down in 3rd place now. If Toddy can get out ahead of Shads, it'll be pretty...
no,
he's not.
I think Shads is
He's not going to do it. He's not hit his marks yet. And it doesn't look like he'll get out ahead of Uncrewed Squid either.
Oh, he went too far!
And he's overshot his marks! Oh no! That's absolutely disastrous. That might have just cost him the time. Now, I'm fairly sure that Toddy will cycle out ahead of RSJ, and he looks like he's going to come out in 5th place. So the only person up front who has not given us a pit stop yet is Darky, which means that the running order will be effectively the same before all the pit stops happened, with Sado leading the way, followed by Shads and Uncrewed Squid. Only difference being that Toddy will now be in 5th place and Speed Racer will now be in 9th. So it's been a pretty horrible feature race for Speed Racer, and Darky's on the lane. Darky comes in, and Sado will probably retake the lead. There he is, rounding the final corner in the Mondeling car.
Let's see where he comes out compared to Squid.
I'm not sure if Darky's hit his marks yet, though. I think he might still be rolling on pit lane.
Nope,
Darky's
he's in.
He's in, but
Squid is currently at the final corner.
And there's damage for Darky, so this is going to be a lengthy stop.
And I think that Squid passed him.
Squid's gone
still there.
past. Now, Darky's come out. Now, will Toddy get ahead of Darky? I mean, it's a long pit lane, and Darky's still got a long way to go, so it would be pretty touch and go if he can go trackside. Trackside with Toddy.
There's a yellow flag.
Somebody went into the wall. Now, will Toddy get out ahead of Darky? That's $1 million question. It looks like he has.
I feel like I saw red that one that went in a wall. So I think it might be Lloyd.
Yeah, perhaps.
Toddy into 4th place. If we see something else,
someone else coming on a pit road.
Yeah, Lloyd.
And that's kind of Lloyd on pit road. Yeah, he's yeah. Now Highlander's where? Highlander's in 7th place, which is probably not where he wanted to be considering where he qualified. But I think that's everyone's given us a pit stop now. Everyone's done their scheduled stop, so
no real close battles on track at the moment.
Oh, I beg to differ. Shads and Uncrewed Squid are pretty close.
True, but still like 1 or 2 seconds.
Now, Speed Racer just letting one of the Evil Knievel's by. That'll probably be Uncrewed Squid.
That would be Shad's.
Sorry, yep, that'll be Shad's actually.
And you can still see the gap between Shad's and Uncrewed Squid is still about 5-6 seconds.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out who's close at the moment, but there really isn't anyone that close to each other at the moment.
Like I said,
because it's pretty much
there
just people dumping it at the wall.
I think that might be Todd and Darky. I think they're the closest pair on track right now.
Yeah, Toddy and Darky were pretty close out of the pit lane. Darky only a couple of seconds adrift. I don't know how Toddy's gotten all this damage. I mean, his car was pretty clean up until not too long ago, so
he didn't really
he
didn't get damage. He didn't have to fix any damage in the pit lane. It was just the fact he overshot his marks.
So I'm getting invites to games on my on the stream at the moment, which is not particularly professional. But whatever the case, I don't know. Maybe Twitch will block them out.
Close back, sort of here, but most of them aren't for position. You got Lockie, Shads, Speed Racer, and Uncrewed Squid.
Uncrewed Squid, yeah, that's not for position, yeah, as you said. But lap 26 of 45, we've still got quite a bit of racing to go. So anything can happen till now in the end of the race. Sado has pulled out an 11-second lead to Shads.
Highlander and Sado.
Highlander and Sado on track at the moment, close to each other. The roles of the two drivers sort of switched between the two races. So last race it was Sado who was several laps down and Highlander that was doing quite well. Now it's Highlander that's several laps down and Sado that's doing amazingly.
Yep. I predicted Sado in the first race, but it seems to be coming true in the second.
Oh, and Sado brushing the wall. He went wide.
That's Highlander. That's Highlander.
Oh, Highlander went wide in the fountain section. I thought we were riding a ball with Sado. I apologize. But anyway, right, both of the Mondeling cars looking pretty second-hand. And Toddy and Darky were within a second of each other, so this is what we were talking about before. So Darky's closed the gap, if we could cycle through to that battle there. There you go. Darky's closed the gap to newcomer Toddy. Will the more experienced driver outdrive the rookie on his debut for Lamency? Into turn 1, it looks like Darky, he's broken later than Toddy. Through the fountain section, what's it going to look like through here? Darky's run out of the fountain section, very, very good. He's all over the back of Toddy at the moment. Will he make a move in the next couple of corners? And yes, he's pulling to the... Will he have the outside for the next corner? And it looks like Darky has just dragged by up into 4th place. So Darky is just taking Toddy's position away. Taking nothing away from Toddy. Darky's a very talented driver, and Toddy's doing very, very well on his Supercars debut.
Oh, someone's gone off at the... uncrewed squid went slow through the hairpin. It was stopped.
Are we talking slow, or very, or just hairpin slow?
Like he had to almost hit the wall and then like spin it around so slow. Because he was up near.
Dear.
If you take a look at the map, you see the 2 blue dots. If you can see that.
Yeah, I can see the
yeah,
dots. Yeah,
he was lapping them, and then he lost a couple seconds.
Right, okay.
He was lapping, what's that? Speed Racer and Lockie.
Speed Racer and Lockie.
He was to lap Lockie, I believe. He might have had contact.
This might be This might be a story that develops in the not too distant future.
Oh, someone's gone off again. Someone's. I think that.
Oh, is that? That might have been Toddy that went off.
No,
He's
I
cycling
don't
through
think it
to try
was.
and work out.
Yeah, it was one of these two. I can't remember who.
I'm gonna guess
couldn't tell who.
it was Toddy, because Toddy's lost more time.
Definitely seems like it. Oh, someone at final corner again. That would be Speed Racer at final corner.
I think that might just be down to the map, because I mean there's not.
No, he was.
It's not a very big map.
He lost. He was closer. He lost about a second.
Alright then.
Gaps. Yeah.
So he'll.
About 1 second behind him. Now he's about 2.
So we're saying Speed Racer had problems in 1. Sorry, in the last corner.
Yeah. Or maybe even half a second. It wasn't too big. Maybe just like a lock up go wide. Or a bit slow. Yellow flag, final sector.
Who's had an issue?
Lloyd.
Colonel Lloyd is... Well, something's happened to Colonel Lloyd. What on earth has happened to Colonel Lloyd? Can we actually have a look at that? I want to see what's happened.
I can't, because
to
it was
Lloyd.
like blocked by the pit.
Did it put you out of it?
Yeah, it was
Colonel Lloyd's
by
had
the pit
some
lane
sort of
after
issue.
Trump went. Can't really tell.
Colonel Lloyd is having a pretty rotten race.
That Speed Racer.
Oh,
jumping out the
Speed
way.
Racer having to... Yep, having to make way for uncrewed squid. However, I think this gap here between Speed Racer and Lockie will probably be closing ever so slowly.
RSJ just minding his own business.
RSJ.
Okay, never mind.
I think we're
again.
cursing RSJ. We keep going on to RSJ, and he keeps.
As soon as we move to someone.
I really hope he doesn't watch this back and see how many times we looked at him and how many times he hit the wall. Oh yeah, and Speed Racer's caught right up to the back of Lockie after he must have had to jump out of the way for lap traffic. And I'm gonna guess that Speed Racer will probably make a move on Lockie in the not too distant future.
Well, remember what happened last time he tried that?
Yeah, I think he got caught in the arrow wash last time. Well, maybe he'll...
went into the wall, second time he spun when he got close.
Well, as they say, third time's a charm. So, how's this going to work
Doesn't
then?
always
We've
work,
got 15 laps to go. 15 laps to go. Or do... No, this is from... Well, Speed Racer has 15 laps to go. Sado's a full 2 laps ahead. Whatever the case. Anyway, the battle's on between these two. What kind of run will Speed Racer have on Lockie coming down the straight? He's got the slipstream, so this will give him an aerodynamic advantage. But will it equate to anything? Now, is he gaining? I think he's gaining, just slowly but surely gaining. Now, is Speed Racer stronger than Lockie through the fountain section and through these slow corners? He's gaining a bit. Slowly but surely he's gaining. The Speed Racer try and make a move on Lockie. This is the closest battle that we can see on track at the moment.
I think Shads is about to lap Highlander. I believe.
Yes, he is.
Oh, making it a bit difficult.
Ooh. Yeah, it is making it difficult.
Oh, was that
anyway,
contact?
Speed Racers jump. Speed Racers just jumped Lockie. They're side by side going down the straight. And unless Speed Racer overshoots this corner.
Oh, he went a bit wide.
Lockie's still sticking right with him. Will he try into the hairpin? No, he won't, but they're still right with each other at the moment.
No, he lost a bit of time on that exit there. And into drain the car up a bit too early.
Oh, there's problems! And one of the Evil Knievel cars are in it as well! It looks like Uncrewed Squid and Shads are in it! Shads had issues and Uncrewed Squid up into second place! You cut to that just at the right time. Oh dear! That's not what Shads wanted. Not what he wanted at all.
Toddy has dropped.
So, oh, and he spun it, and he almost puts it. He puts it in the wall just as you say that.
I was about to say Toddy fallen quite far back from Darky. What's that? About 10 seconds. Will Shads have to make another pit stop? And if he does, that might even put him behind Toddy. Toddy might be able to get back up into 4th.
And Darky might be able to be back on the podium, which is probably not.
RSJ
with RSJ Sato. And Highlander. This was
Sato.
Oh, I thought that was Sato. So he's with a teammate actually. I was getting excited there. So yeah.
But there's a lot of people going like through the final sector.
Right. Okay. Speed Racer and Lockie are close right now. They're within a second of each other. So this is probably the closest battle on track at the moment.
Yep,
so we might just stick with it.
But I think Speed Racer will start to pull away.
Yeah, Speed Racer is one of the quickest drivers.
That's
so
Highlander.
Really well.
Squid, I believe. And you got Lloyd there as well. Not much happening
Lockie
right now.
looks like he had an issue. Lockie looks like he had some sort of issue.
Yep.
Yeah. He was almost in the wall there. That's wow. So we are on lap 33
like
of
someone,
45.
It's Toddy. Toddy's just out by himself on the other side of the racetrack compared to everyone else.
Well, I'm sure Toddy will be pretty happy with this. I mean, I mean, if I were anyone on this in this race right now, I would either be Sado because he's leading, but then again, I don't want the pressure of leading. And
Squid passed 2 cars. Oh no, that's Shads.
Those Shads. Yep.
Lloyd jumping out the way for Highlander as well.
Yeah, and that's none of this is for position, which is a little bit unfortunate.
Actually, Highlander is being caught by both Speed Racer and Lockie.
Yeah. But anyway, as I was saying, if I were to be anyone in this race at the moment, I'd either want to be Sado, but I don't want the pressure of leading. And if anyone else, I wouldn't mind being Toddy in this situation at the moment.
I wouldn't mind being Lloyd. Gets to do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I know, but that gets boring eventually, doesn't it? Anyway,
yeah, but
whatever the case.
Fun. But drive with one hand.
Speed Racer.
Give yourself
Speed Racer within a second. Almost within a second of Highlander now, and I think he's closing at a rate of knots. So, it's lap 34 or 45, almost 10 laps to go. Actually, no, Sado's past 10 laps to go, yep. Lap 36, so we have less than 10 laps to go. So, who are we going to be interviewing at the end of this race, do you think?
I reckon maybe Sato would be a good choice to interview.
Sato, definitely.
I would also say, Squid. Maybe Toddy to see how he's done, how he
Definitely, I'd like to have Toddy in, so Sato and Toddy for sure.
And I think either Speed Racer or Highlander, whichever one, well, depending on what happens in his next battle that's about to happen.
Exactly. And it looks like Speed Racer, he's caught up to, well, he's sort of almost caught up to the back of Highlander at the moment.
Probably RSJ to apologise the amount of times we fucking cursed him.
Okay, that'll be one for the swear jar then.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh dear. Right. Need a TCR swear jar. Need a TCR swear jar for anyone that swears on any of the broadcasts, but whatever the case.
Well, it's gonna happen a few times with me. It's just gonna come out.
It's happened a few times, and a not so funny motorsport commentator from the Discord server. He definitely owes us a few from the Petit Le Mans broadcast last year. But whatever the case,
I'll just chuck $1 down.
And Speed Racer is right on the back of Highlander. If we just cut to him, Speed Racer's closed up to Highlander at a rate of knots, and now is all over his back bumper, and will probably be looking to make a move in the next few corners. Speed Racer powering out of the hairpin. Can he use the slipstream to try and get by Highlander in maybe the first corner? If he goes in the first corner, it'll be from far back. He's late on the brakes. He's looking outside, but it doesn't look like he's going to get through this time by... Oh, and Darky loops it in the back. Darky loops that. That's what's happened there. And meanwhile, the battle still rages between Speed Racer and Highlander. Speed Racer all over the back of Highlander. He's probably within distance to make a dive bomb move, but judging by what's happened on this racetrack so far, that would probably be ill-advised. Now, coming on to the back straight. Speed Racer, can he get within closing distance of Highlander?
Ooh,
Highlander looked up a bit. That'll cost him time. Highlander runs wide in the final sector. Will Speed Racer try and send it up the inside? No, he won't. He's having a look. Will he get by on the front straight? Highlander has lost so much time on this lap, and Speed Racer's probably within closing distance now. He's in the slipstream, and does he have the straight line speed to try and get by? He's gaining. Will he go for the move in turn one? He looks inside, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen this time by. Will his run out of turn one be good enough to get by? Lloyd in the pit lane again, but that's probably his 420th stop of the day. But that's not really something we have to worry about for the time being, because this is where the action's at. Speed Racer. I mean, who would have thought we would have been watching the battle for 7th and 8th? Who would have guessed? But
especially between these two as well.
Between these two as well, exactly. Another battle I didn't expect to see, which we've seen a few times, was Lockie versus Speed Racer.
Oh,
that was
someone's lost the back end. I don't know who. I think that was Lockie. Yeah.
Oh, and Lockie, yeah, the engine covers come off. The bonnet's flown off his Ford Falcon, but...
Oh, wow.
Speed Racer and Highlander still going at it. Speed Racer's within touching distance of Highlander. Can he try and maybe make a move into the hairpin? He set up that exact move, and he goes down the inside. They're side by side on exit. There's a little bit of contact, but it looks like Speed Racer's just been able to clear Highlander. Can Highlander come back at Speed Racer? He'll probably want to. Darky comes on pit road. That's crucial. Darky on the lane.
Damn.
With a few laps to go.
Is
there damage to that car? Which beats Toddy in P4, which is going to be a fantastic drive for him if he can bring that home.
Someone's up the race. I think Lloyd decided to give
Lloyd's probably retired. Yeah, there's no real point. I mean, he's pretty much covered 75% distance, so he's packed it up.
We'll see if RSJ can get ahead of Darky.
Oh, and Darky's rolling on pit road. He's moving, but will he get out ahead of RSJ? That's the main question.
Doesn't look like it.
It looks like RSJ will go through on Darky, and RSJ up to P5. So Speed Racer has, well, he's checked out. He's looking like he's checking out from Highlander at this point. Meanwhile, Uncrewed
The top
Squid,
guys, still not really anyone.
A minute and 20. Oh no, 14 seconds off. I thought that was displaying a minute and 20.
Yeah,
for some
it was.
reason. Anyway, it's a bit all over the place. Anyway, Uncrewed Squid is 14 seconds adrift to Sado, and this is an absolutely
Only
superb
two
drive by
cars
Sado.
close to each other. Speed Racer and Highlander.
We're on lap 40 now, so just over 5 laps to go. Sado's
Might
done
go
very,
for
very
a
well in this number
onboard
3
lap.
modelling car.
Might go for an onboard lap with Sado.
If he wins here at Long Beach, it will be the second time he'll have won this season. He won the feature race at Algarve, and it's looking like he's going to win the feature race here in Long Beach. And that might have interesting championship implications. That might... well, he missed the races in Fuji, so that probably won't do wonders
You probably
for
just
it.
cursed
But
him
he's
there.
the only... He's the only other driver to have actually won this season. However, if he just plays it safe to the end of the race, he will be okay. Meanwhile, Darky's on the lane again.
That.
Now, if we could just cut to Darky to see what's happened, to see what kind of damage he has. He's come in again. I don't quite know why, but this might be tight between Speed Racer and Darky. It looks like Speed Racer might.
Speed Racer's gonna make it through, so is Highlander.
Question is, will Lockie make it through?
I don't think so, because Darky's rolling.
Darky's rolling on pit road. It might be tight. Yeah, it's gonna be tight if.
No, he's gonna get out. Lockie's letting someone through.
Yeah. Lockie's letting someone through, so yeah, it probably.
That's Sado.
Yeah, Sado's starting lap 42 here in Long Beach. Uncrewed Squid just coming round to lap RSJ, who jumps out of the way.
Let's have a look at Toddy. Still nowhere near anyone with that.
Nowhere near anyone, he's just running his own race, which is probably exactly what he wanted. To
Chaz
finish
is all the
fourth.
way out at Firestone, while RSJ is only going into the first corner now. There's just no one near him.
If Toddy can finish fourth on debut, that'll be absolutely superb for this number 9 car. And he's done very, very well so far. Hopefully it will stay that way. Highlander, 7th place, probably could have done a little bit better tonight. Lots of these guys, lots of the fast guys caught up in incidents, which means that the bottom end of the midfield has actually become the top end of the midfield, which is rather interesting to see. Uncrewed Squid. He's closing the gap to Sado actually. He's closed in 3 seconds and only a couple of laps. But I don't think there's enough time left in the race to catch Sado. Sado starting lap 43. Here's Uncrewed Squid about to start lap 43 as well.
Darky not having a good time after that. Down to 8.
No, Darky's not.
From running in
He's
P4.
gone from... Yeah,
Look at that,
there
he's
might have
lost
been
a
a
whole
podium
lap.
on the cards then. Yeah.
No, he's playing Toddy.
Well, Speed Race has done reasonably well to get back up into 6th place. But I mean, he knows he probably could have done better. This has really been a very entertaining race. Probably not in the way I expected, but whatever the case.
I think Highlander
Oh,
made
Dark
a
Racing
mistake.
40.
Oh no, Highlander has
Dark-
jumped out
this-
the way of Toddy.
Oh, and Highlander
Oh.
in the wall. and that's given Darky the opportunity to go through, and his bonnet's flown off. Highlander's bonnet is now on the front straight.
I think Darky got a better exit out the corner, hit the back of him, slammed into the wall.
Well, this is an interesting turn of events. Darky up into 7th.
And depending on the damage that Highlander has, Lockie might be able to get him. He's only about just over a straight behind. Oh, but then again, he doesn't have a bonnet either.
Lots of cars without bonnets. I mean, this wasn't really something I expected to see a lot of. But anyway, lap 44 for Shads. Exactly what the doctor ordered. Yeah, Uncrewed Squid just lapping Lockie. So Sato, he's done very well to come back from an arm injury and has led most of this race. Meanwhile, Speed Racer has just unlapped himself, I think.
Oh, that's Darky.
No, that's Darky unlapping himself, yeah.
Speed Racers. Quite
now, where's
himself.
Sato on track at the moment?
I believe he's coming up to lap his teammate.
Oh, did Sato just get in the wall? I think he did.
He had a small
Anyway,
tap.
right. Sato is about to see the white flag is Sato. Highlander pulls into the pit lane.
Lockie.
Now, can we just cut to Sato for a second? We cut. Yep, Sato, it's white flag this time around. We're on lap 45, off 45. We've got 1 to go here at Long Beach. Sato.
Let's stay on board, final lap. Lap of victory.
Is 10 seconds ahead of Uncrewed Squid. So, oh, you don't want to hit the wall on the final lap. All he's got to do is keep it clean, and this race victory is his. And he'll take his 2nd victory of the season if he can bring this car home in one piece. Uncrewed Squid now 9 seconds adrift. However, it's not a particularly long lap here, so there's not a lot of time to catch up if he is going to try and catch up. Now, coming on to the back straight. Oh, he was almost the tyre barriers there. It's getting pretty close. Now, we're pretty much just seen... we don't want him to plough into the wall. Into the final couple of corners. He's only got 2 corners to negotiate now. And if he can go trackside, we will see Sato round the final corner. And he comes towards the checkered flag. Sato, after coming back from an arm injury, will take his 2nd win of the season. He wins the feature race here in Long Beach. And Uncrewed Squid will come home in 2nd place for the Evil Knievel's. What an upset. It's Uncrewed Squid who brings it home in 2nd, and Shads who's going to bring it home in 3rd. And Toddy, if he can hold on to 4th place, that'll be an absolutely superb drive on debut.
Looks like he
Sato
had about
negotiating
20 seconds over RSJ,
So Shad's just negotiating the last couple of corners. He powers out of the hairpin. And it's going to be across the line for Shads to round off the podium. And Toddy is going down the back straight now. And this will be an absolutely superb performance on debut for the driver of the number 9 car. He's taken over from some pretty amazing drivers. It was Triple Rotor Racing and Chuck Racing who drove this car in Algarve and Fuji. And now he's going to bring it home for 4th place. What an absolutely spectacular drive from Toddy. And that's that. That's the end of the feature race, and all these guys are just going to be finishing their laps. That was absolutely superb. Sato really takes the victory for his 2nd win of the season, followed by Uncrewed Squid. Shads comes home in 3rd, followed by Toddy with an absolutely superb drive on his debut, coming home in 4th. RSJ in 5th, Speed Racer in 6th, Darky in 7th, Lockie in 8th, Highlander in 9th, and Colonel Lloyd retired from the race on lap 34 and is in 10th position.
Fastest lap goes to Squid, 1:15.593.
1:15.593, but the mistakes cost him dearly. Now, we'll continue. Now, if I can just... I want to add Toddy as a friend in case I don't already have him as a friend. And, oh, doesn't look like it.
Is that saying something, mate?
Oh, no, I just want to invite him to a party. Because we do have some post-race interviews to conduct. And we'll get Sado, we'll get Uncrewed, and we'll get Toddy. Now,
Yeah.
do I have Toddy as a friend? Hopefully I do. Now, if you'll excuse me, there's Sado, invite to a party. Hopefully he'll join us for some post-race interviews. Uncrewed Squid, will invite him for an interview as well. And hopefully... Well, unfortunately... Well, hold on, I need to just see who's in this party and then just invite Toddy. Okay, this is slightly annoying. I can't seem to invite Toddy, so I might actually have to... if you excuse me a second, I need to actually add Toddy as a friend. Because I haven't previously done that. So that probably would have been a good idea before, but I didn't know he was actually racing, so... Excuse me for a moment. Wadey, who was your driver of the day?
For overall, I'd have to probably say Toddy.
Yeah, Toddy probably driver of the day, and I think we have Uncrewed Squid has joined the party.
Yeah, gents, how are we?
Yeah, I mean, it just looked like it went wrong for you a bit there, Uncrewed.
Yeah, 3 spins will not get a win for you, but I was pretty lucky to recover the second. And I think after the first spin, I still had the pace to take it up to Sado, but and then in traffic, trying to make up time and just trying too hard. That's what happens. You spin. So. No, it was good. We've still got plenty of points, and Chad's got plenty of points as well, which is good for the team. So we're still looking strong.
Certainly a good haul of points. Now I'm just gonna see if I could try and get some of the other people who some talking points in here. So you might just have to bear with us for a second. I'll try and give Sado another invite. Sorry. Okay, hopefully he joins that. I do want to talk to Toddy because that was a good drive from Toddy. But hopefully he does join. I'd like it if he did.
I don't know how much action you saw on the replay on the race too. I think there was a fair bit of few incidents, I think.
We saw almost all of it.
Right.
Yeah, we saw a lot of it. So do you
Look forward
think
to the
there
replay.
might be a couple of penalties applied, or do you think anyone will go to the stewards?
I didn't see them. Unfortunately, I think there was a bit of a. I think Shads unfortunately was caught up in one there on turn 1. I'm not sure, mate, but I just saw the aftermath and we'll have to see from there, mate. And if they want to take it to the stewards and have it reviewed, and that's what happens. But yeah, it's a tough track. It's very, very unforgiving. I was very lucky on the first spin. I didn't actually hit the wall or anything. But you can't spin 3 times in a race and expect to win. So pretty lucky to hold on to second. I thought third was going to be about it. But, there you go. I think there's still a fair bit of I won't say tension, but I think probably people are wound up probably still after that race, so you may not get anybody. 10 guys.
Yeah, I'm just seeing if we can get a few more people in, and so well, I mean, Sad. I've been trying to get the race winner in here, Sado, but I'm not sure. I'm
Yeah,
not
we
sure how much
drove
he.
a
Basking in
good
its
race.
glory.
Yeah, well, he drove a good race and he stayed out of trouble, and that's what you got to do on tracks like this. So he deserved the win because he didn't spin, and it's as simple as that. So that's how that works.
I think he might have spun once, but
Oh no,
he
he
was
hit
off
the
camera.
wall. No, he didn't.
I hit the
spin.
wall.
He hit the wall.
Yeah, right.
It was near the end as well. And then after he did that, you definitely started catching really quickly.
Yeah, the car had the pace, so I just didn't have it. I just didn't have it in the second race. So 3 mistakes there, and that was the problem. So anyway, I will jump out, boys, and
All right,
watch
then.
the replay. I think.
Okay.
Have a good one.
All
Well
right.
done again.
Thank you very much. Okay, I've just sent Toddy one more invite, but no worries. So I've just sent Toddy one more invite to see if we can get any more post-race interviews, but
Or if we can't get
give it a
those
few more
guys, we
minutes.
might send a few other invites to the guys, just in the
I
race in
sent an
general.
invite to Speed Racer, but he's not joined.
Maybe Highlander.
Perhaps Highlander. Hopefully I have Highlander as a friend. It's slightly annoying that I don't how little of these guys I actually have as a friend, which is slightly annoying.
Well,
I think
I
some
don't
of these
think I have
guys.
any of them. So.
No, you wouldn't have any of them. And I think some of them might have actually checked out as well. I could try and give Highlander an invite. So, well, they can at least add him as a friend. So if you're watching the replay of this, talk amongst yourselves until we get anyone else in. Right, we'll try and get Highlander in, and if he doesn't join, we can finish up. Right, I'll give Highlander an invite. And see if anyone wants to join for post-race interviews. But yeah, as Uncrude said, I think some people not entirely happy with what happened in that last race.
It's probably one of the best races I've ever seen, honestly.
Yeah, that was thoroughly entertaining, actually. Not quite for the reasons I expected, though.
Yeah, true. But then again, a street circuit, you do have to take into account that there is going to be crashes.
Yeah, there was a lot of crashes, actually. Right,
Especially from way at the back. 3 pit stops
It
and still
doesn't-
not even making it.
Yeah, well. Alright, it doesn't look like anyone else is going to join, so it's about time we signed off. Thank you very much for watching the 3rd round of the Aus-NZ Combined Supercars Championship from the Long Beach Street Circuit. My name is Gear 3 Gaming, and joining me on the mic today has been me, Wadey XO48, who I hope will be joining us for a few more races this season.
Hopefully.
If you've enjoyed the action and you're on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit like, do all the rest of it. And if you're watching on YouTube, go into the link in the description below to vote for your Aus-NZ driver of the day. Now, I think that's everything that needs to be said. So like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.